So you've told us that you illustrate and you do all these illustrations and prints. What would you say to anyone that's listening now that hasn't seen any of your artwork just yet and has just discovered you now? Like, how would you describe your style?
So it's quite like... Do you know what? I feel like my style changes every 2 minutes, to be honest.
That's so great.
I feel like I've not fully settled into a style yet.
But I do feel
you say that, but I mean, you've got a pretty...
good style. I feel like when I see your work, I know it's yours before I see your name.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear. Because I always feel like I just like... Oh, I'm just going to try that this time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really feel like I've fully settled into a style yet. I guess it's like quite retro, maybe.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But in terms of like actual, like when I actually illustrate like people or things, I don't necessarily feel like I've settled into like a full style yet, because I'll see something, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. And I'll change. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm constantly changing. So
I feel like that's the best way to be, because if you're not and you put yourself in a box, then you'll never grow as a designer.
Yeah,
that was me for the last 2 years with Pink and Red. It was a box that I put myself in. I was like, I can't go out of this box. And then now I've come out of it, I feel like I've got all these creative juices flowing again. I'm enjoying creating.
Yeah.
See, that's how you keep your creative juices flowing, and I love that. That's probably why you've been going for, because you said 5 years, that's probably why you're still going strong with it, because you've allowed yourself to like really grow and develop it.
Yeah. I think because I got an iPad like a year ago.
Yeah.
But before that I was doing everything on like Adobe.
So how were you doing that? So were you using like the pen tool on Illustrator, or were you using like a graphics pad?
So you're gonna laugh. So what I used to do was I used to hand draw everything out with like a fine liner. And then I had this app on my phone that scanned. So like it was like a digital scanner. So it was an app on my phone that I scanned, and then it scanned it in as like a line. So bad quality. But it scanned it in as a line, and then I uploaded that into Photoshop and I edited it from that.
Is there any of these on your account?
I got the iPad. That one was hand drawn.
Oh.
That one was hand drawn and edited on.
Was it? That's one of my favourites. Yours. Let me take a picture for the podcast. There we go.
Yeah,
love it.
So yeah, literally, because if you look how, can you tell?
Oh,
if you look at the black lines.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then because so if you actually look at how bad quality that is,
it's not though.
But do you know? What I mean?
Do you know what? It's a vibe though. I'm vibing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. So that hand drawn.
Let's see.
Did it take you forever?
Fucking ages, mate.
You're like, yes.
Oh my god. So that's why as well. When people used to be like, oh, can you draw me and my dog? I'm like, nah, fuck off. I don't want to draw you and your dog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as well, like when people came to me, like I never ever used to do like commissions for people. I only ever used to do commissions for like, so if a company approached me. So like that share was for Nasty Gal. It was for Nasty Gal International Women's Day, and honestly, my heart fell out my arse when Nasty Gal messaged me on Instagram. I remember exactly where I was, and they messaged me on Instagram, and I was like, oh.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
How much?
Not enough for that one.
How much?
I was going to ask.
So I charged, because they were only for Instagram. So I did 5 illustrations for them, and I charged them £60 per illustration.
Wow, that's so cheap.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit sick inside a little bit.
And they took me ages.
Yeah.
See, they must have known that was undercharging too. This is the thing, like, I feel like we don't know as designers when we start out. We think, oh, that's amazing, like, I've made this much, but I think they know that they're undercharging. And I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, Nasty Gal, like, you undercharged. Like, I don't want to, like...
No, because I set that price. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, did you?
No, that was me. Like, I set that price. They, like, to be fair to them, they asked me how much, and I said that, so they're not going to be like, oh, well, actually, we want to pay you fucking 300. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would they do that? That does not going to make commercial sense for them. So, like, that is nothing on them. Like, I set that price. But I think for me, because at the time, I had 900 followers or something.
That was really good exposure.
Yeah, and like they messaged
me.
Yeah, they tagged me. And I got like 3,000 followers off it. Like,
that's so
good. It was fucking wild. So like I don't regret that. No. Like, because I wanted to work with Nasty Gal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was your choice and that was your
That was
boundary.
my-
You were like, right, this is enough for me.
Yeah.
For like
This
the
is it.
exposure.
This
Exactly.
is the conversation we have all the time. It's like, yeah, it's pricing yourself and letting, like, obviously brands know that this is the going rate.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can charge whatever you
Yeah.
want to charge.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would charge more now.
So how much would you charge now for that? Like if a similar brand came to you?
So I like to work it out by hour. So I want to be earning at least £35 an hour, really.
Yeah.
So like,
You've got to think about taxes and everything. haven't you?
Exactly.
It's not that, it's the equipment that you use as well.
but also what I will say when you just said about taxes. So I used to include my taxes in my prices. I don't do
Yeah.
that anymore. So I will send them an invoice with tax on it. Do you know what I mean?
So in the invoice, will it break it down and say added tax?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you have that on there.
20% onto every single.
Yeah,
So if you
onto
give someone
every
a
invoice.
quote,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, this will be
Yeah.
100 quid. But
Yeah.
then when you send them the invoice, it's
because
£100.
that's what everyone else does. I work in the industry, so when I get like an influencer's invoice or like a videographer's invoice or an art director's invoice or a stylist's invoice or anything like that, it's got 20% on it for the tax.
Wow, my
Yeah.
eyes have been opened. I've
Yeah.
seen heaven, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm
So
so-
we're
gonna
gonna
do
have to
that.
add 20%
Yeah,
tax.
so
onto
I
everything.
always add tax on top because that is the norm.
Because like,
Oh, what a lovely lady! So thank you so much for being here. Right.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I also
I don't know anybody that does it. So
yeah.
and no one speaks about money.
No,
because
it's exactly
women hate
nobody
talking
thinks
about
but
money.
It's interesting because if I hadn't have seen all these, like if I had not have known that because of my job,
Yeah.
then I would like I used to include tax and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like I'm just gonna do you know what I mean, like so apologetic about it, but like no, it is the norm to add your tax onto your
know your worth and add tax.
onto your payment. Yeah, so I will set my rates
And then you know how much to put away.
and then you know how much to put away. Yeah.
Because I don't put anything away. I get it, I spend it. See you
And,
later.
and then it gets
Yeah.
to it, you're like, oh fuck.
Then
Got to say
yeah,
the
then I
tax.
save.
Yeah.
Yeah, save from, what is it?
From April to
You
January.
know, I need to fill this
Yeah.
tax bill.
Yeah.
Do that. You should
Yeah.
not do
Yeah,
that.
No,
we
you
shouldn't
be
do
doing
that.
that.
Yeah,
No.
don't listen to us, please.
Well, that's a nice hot
Yeah.
take for everybody else that's
Yeah.
listening to do that as well.
Yeah, so that's what
Because
I
if more
do.
of us started doing it,
I think you'd be surprised at how many people do that. So like, and this is like obviously where it kind of the crossover between what I do for a full-time
Yeah.
job and this really helps. So like if we like for example a talent, if we had a talent in some content that we were filming and we got their invoice through, it would have the price that we'd agreed and then 20% tax on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And that's like I would never be like, you've put tax, because it's the norm. Everyone's got tax on their invoice. Yeah.
I feel like we've just
Well, I feel
realised
like I'm-
something that's changed our lives.
Yeah.
I'm like speechless. That's amazing.
Yeah.
do you disclose that you're adding the 20% tax on, or do you like, oh, it's going to be this?
Yeah,
plus
so I
20%?
disclose it. Yeah, so I'll always be like plus VAT. So I'll be like, I'll say my rates, and then I'll be like plus VAT.
So when you put it on the invoice, do you? So it's like, oh, subtotal, and then you add VAT, and it's like 20%.
Yeah.
And, so
And
you
then
add
full
VAT
total.
20%,
Yeah.
and then add the total,
Yeah.
and then the two totals
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah. Yeah, so like up front when I'm agreeing with, if I'm going to work with someone, I will say, and again, if it's like, if I'm working for a really small client, like, I'd probably be, do you know what I mean? I'd still charge them tax, but I'd be a lot more, this is how much it's going to cost you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is how
Right.
much it is after the tax.
This is how
just
much
so
it is
you
after
know.
the tax, yeah. Whereas, so, because I've been on the receiving end of it as a client, when I've been, do you know what I mean? Like, I know, I'm trying to think of like what the best way to describe it is. So if we were working with a talent and they told me the price, they would be like, oh, it's going to cost this much plus VAT, and then I'd be like, right, sound, so it's going to be this much out of my
Yeah.
budget. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like maybe with a smaller client, I'd be like, so I'm going to charge you this much, and then it's going to be plus VAT, so I'm going to charge you this much.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
you feel like you want to be a bit more clear so that they're
Yeah,
fully aware.
so that
before
they're
they
fully
agree.
aware, because I don't
Yeah.
want them hit them with the 20% more.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's it. I work with a lot of smaller
Yeah.
businesses, so I think,
Yeah.
disclosing it would.
So, yeah, I always disclose it because I think it's proper dodge not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, just so you know, here's an extra.
Yeah, but I would always disclose it, but I wouldn't explain it to a bigger client.
Yeah, because they know.
But I would explain it to a smaller client.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a new business.
Yeah, like a new business, I'd be like, yeah, I'm charging this much, and then there's going to be 20% VAT.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to
This is
take
it. Like,
this.
yeah, like we do this because we want to share our knowledge as well. But that's why we want guests on, because there's only so far that we can go. Because I've never been in industry.
Yeah.
You've been in industry for a few years.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it's like it's nice to have people on who are still in industry.
Have
around.
different views
Yeah.
as well, and different takes, because everyone's going to have a different take anyway. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
Oh, you're
that.
welcome, Hans.
I
But
feel like
that's totally the norm, like, and it's not
Yeah.
like, you should never, like, everyone pays tax, you got to pay your fucking tax, like, you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm really sorry, I've got to pay my tax. Do you know what I mean? You should be like...
it's like, yeah,
That
is our problem, that we need to pay
Yeah.
tax, and so that we should make it better.
Yeah.
But, oh, amazing.
my mind is absolutely blown by that. You know.
Yeah.
Mine is, I feel like
Yeah.
this is the best part of this podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
This
you're
has
welcome.
changed my life,
Sounds
Charlie.
absolutely
You're welcome,
You're
girls.
amazing. You can come back anytime.
I was just going to say, just on the rates, so if it's like a bigger project, I'd probably charge a lump sum,
Yeah.
rather than, because you don't know how many hours it's going to take, because there's going to be loads of amends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's I'm the same. So for example, if someone it all depends who it's for,
Yeah.
what it's for. So like my argument for it is, if I charge by the hour, the better I get at my job, the less I'm getting paid. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, one question I wanted to ask was, how did you find your style? Like, did you already I know that you're saying that your style's evolving all the time, but how did you get to where you are now?
That's a really hard question. I have
Well, I guess you've
no
already...
idea. Yeah, I feel like I just gradually like built up to it. So like when I first started, it was very much like black outline,
Yeah.
plain colour on the inside. So
Yeah.
when I first started out, I'd illustrate girls usually. Mm-hmm. So I'd draw like, I don't know, just like random girls. And it was very much like block colour on the inside. They'd be wearing like a plain t-shirt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was very like block, very simple.
Flat image.
Yeah, very flat. And then gradually I started being like, I want to put some eyeshadow on her, or I'm going to make her hair balayage. Or, do you know what I mean? Like it gradually just became like that. And then I started like playing around with shadows, which to be honest, I still think I'm shit at. Like getting
It's
shadows
to know where the light is.
Where would the light be?
Is it
I
under
don't
the
know.
chin?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, this is something that people say. So I'm traditionally trained. I was a painter.
Amazing.
So, like,
You
fine
know how to
artist,
do
so
that.
that comes
Yeah.
naturally to me.
Yeah.
So when I'm drawing, like, I can imagine where the light is and
Yeah.
stuff. Because I was doing something
Such
in
good
front
skill.
of Max's mum, and she was like, "How do you know where the light is?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, it's obvious to me because I've painted and drawn so many faces.
Yeah.
That it's just because. So when obviously people who
That's such a
come
good
from
skill.
like a fine art back, because I find it funny how I've gone from like traditional fine
Because
artist.
you were saying you were really
to
contemporary, weren't you?
Fine artist to really
Me
contemporary.
stalking your podcast.
Love that. To then like an illustrator, graphic designer, I just
Yeah.
find it wild, like the way that because
Yeah. So that's
Move
something that
on.
I really struggle with because I'm not do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But
I'm not a graphic
eventually-
designer,
Yeah, but
and
you
I'm
will,
not.
you will be. Though.
Yeah.
Because it's all about practice. As
Yeah.
people say to me, like, I can't draw, and I'm like, but you could if you practice. It's all about
Yeah.
like knowing where, like knowing proportions, where to put your hands,
Yeah.
like when you're drawing.
Yeah.
So I think we will get there with the shades.
Yeah, they say 10,000 hours is how you become a master of something, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, so 10,000 hours, if you do something for 10,000 hours, like obviously not in once, like over the period, so I think it works out at like 10 years or something, if you were doing that as like a full-time job.
We've got a long way
That's
to go.
when
girl.
you become
go.
like a master.
Well,
of your
you've been doing it
craft.
for 5 years.
So you're right there.
But like on and off. I've not been doing it as like a full-time job. Like when I say I've been doing it for 5 years, like I started this account, did it for like a year to get a job in social media, sacked it off for a few years.
And then you came
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So like, yeah, and I used to do like little bits here and there, but I used to just not post for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm a bit
Like
that now
I was
sometimes.
same. I was very inconsistent, and to be honest, I still am. Like I am so inconsistent with like my posting. You know, like one of the questions you were like, what would you do to our marketing? I was like, fuck me, I'm in no position to be telling you.
Well, I said, so basically, listeners, we've given Charlie the questions to have a look at first before she came in, and one of them was, as a marketing point of view, obviously because she's in marketing, like what would you do like with our businesses, so like Roxanne's business and my business? And I said to Roxanne, I was like, I know what she would say about mine, more consistency.
But I am so inconsistent.
See,
like,
I feel like you are like you post a lot.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I think you're consistent.
Yeah.
Because I sometimes don't post for like 3 weeks.
But I don't think that's a long time. And I never really think, I've not seen anything Charlie's recently.
Because that's good.
Yeah, and you're always on your reels, and you're really good on TikTok too. Like,
but again, I've not posted on TikTok in ages. And they say you're meant to post on TikTok like 3 times a day. Fuck that.
I'm sorry, but it's not going to be
I've got
quality.
fucking time to do it 3 times a day. Because I was thinking this recently. Do you remember like when YouTube first became a thing and you'd have like the OGs like Jenna Marbles?
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah. But they were like new videos every Wednesday. She did it once a week. I got 3 times a day.
No, and that was consistent. That was good.
That was consistent.
Whereas now.
Yeah.
Because now everything's short form content, that's why.
It's the expectation. It's like everyone expects like content. And fuck me,
It's too much.
So bad.
Don't you worry.
I ain't got time. Like sometimes I'll get home from work at like, if I ever go into the office, or I'll finish work at like 7 p.m. It's dark outside. The lighting's shit to film a TikTok. Like I don't want.
Just want to eat my tea, go to bed.
I don't want TikToks to make as well. Like, because things take.
Yeah.
I don't want to put something out half-assed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Put my name on it, so I overthink everything and want to make sure everything's like good quality. But then that takes time, and I can't do 3 TikToks a day. But I've seen what TikTok has done for some businesses, and it's
amazing.
Yeah.
I like process videos.
Yeah.
But I can't do 3 drawings a day to film process. Do you know what I mean?
Same.
It's too much.
No, same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I do? Trick of the trade here. So I got TikTok about a year ago.
Yeah.
But I started posting on my old account, and then I just wasn't gaining followers because it was an old like stagnant account, and then I think I was reading about it. I think like the algorithm had like
forgotten about me.
So then I started a new account, and that went like higher.
Yeah.
But what I do, so I'd had all these illustrations that I'd done before I started TikTok. So do you use Procreate either of you? So on Procreate you can take away the layers. I'll just do a pretend process video of it. If I'm doing an illustration start to finish, then I will do a process video of it. But the ones that I'd done before I started TikTok, I like took the layer off, and then I'd like just like draw a layer, like redraw it, and then do you know what I mean?
That's an amazing idea.
So I just did a pretend.
See, for me though, I get into a habit of like, oh, I've done this bit now, flatten, and I flatten it.
Ah, right, okay. So I never flatten.
I never flatten. I need them all individual. I have commitment issues.
Yeah, same. I never flatten.
See, with me, I have too many different bits that I get confused, and I'm like, fuck it, flatten it.
So you don't flatten the full thing though? Are you wild? You'd flatten little bits into it that can go together. Do you know what I mean? But that's how so like the illustrations that I'd done before I started TikTok, that's how I made the process videos of them, because I was like,
you can do those like transitions, like like here's the photo I used, and then bam, there it is, and then here it is.
Might delete my TikTok and start again.
Yeah, delete it and start again. But what you like, save all your videos down first.
And then put them back on.
There's a website that I use.
Musical Down?
No, but it's the same thing. It's called the one that I use is called Snaptic, and it saves it without the watermark.
Oh, bloody gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you can put it on your
reels. And then you can put it on your reels.
Because reels don't like it when you've got a TikTok sign.
No. So save all the ones that you've done down, make yourself a new account. There you go.
Gonna do that.
Yeah. But do you ever
just watch us fly?
Have you ever had a video go viral on TikTok?
No.
Right. So I had a few. When I say viral, like they weren't that mad. Like,
I mean, let's not talk yourself down here, Charlie.
No, but like some people get like million views. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so one got like 70,000 views.
Oh, yeah. Right, so I'll say that's viral.
So that for me, I was fucking buzzing.
Anything above 10,000.
Yeah.
Is viral.
Yeah. So I was buzzing, but then you get a lot of hate on those ones that go viral. People are fucking brutal. So it was a picture, it was an illustration.
I feel like people are using it as like a personality trait just to be mean.
Yeah, like,
just to be mean, and I
just to
don't
be
like
horrible.
it at the minute.
So there was one, the first one that I ever did that went like viral was an illustration of Lizzo. And people were like commenting on it like, oh, amazing, amazing. And then underneath people were like, no, it's not. And then you saw one and you liked my clapback comment once.
Yes, I did. Yeah, because I think you'd shared it on Instagram and then I was like, right, I'm going to find this and I'm going to like your comment.
Because I've started clapping back a bit. Like,
of course.
Depends if I have the energy for it.
Yeah.
Depends what headspace I'm in at the time. Do you know what I mean? But I've started clapping back a little bit because I'm like, fuck off. Like, I'm not hurting anyone. Like, if you don't like my illustration, fuck off then. Like, I don't care. But I can't remember. That was it. I was like, oh my god, I've just found this Procreate hack that I can't believe I didn't know about. Because I'd figured out that you could get a colour palette
from a picture.
And I never knew that.
I think that's such a good tool.
They only added it like a couple of like maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, I never knew that.
It's not like it's...
So I thought, right, I'm gonna make a TikTok out of this. And then someone was like, it's not a hack though, it's literally a feature of Procreate. And I was like, oh, have a fucking day off, mate.
Yeah.
Have a day off.
What is their goal?
Honestly.
Like, do they want you to be triggered or do they want you to go, oh, thanks so much for letting me know it was a feature?
Do you know what I mean? Like, but it can get upsetting.
Yeah.
And it depends what kind of headspace you're in. It can get upsetting. And that's one comment that I've had. Imagine if you're getting hundreds.
Oh no, I don't think people do.
Do you know what I mean? I once had one where I'd posted, because I sometimes put my face in videos.
Yeah.
And I did one where I was doing an illustration and this random girl commented like, oh my god, you're so pretty. And I was like, oh, thanks. And someone commented underneath like, no, she's not. I was
like, what are you getting out of that? That's just...
Fuck me.
That's just rude.
I know.
It is. But do you find, right, the negative comments hurt so much worse than like one negative comment hurts so much worse than like 100 good ones.
Yeah.
It hits you hard and it's really difficult to get out of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It does hit you hard, but fuck 'em. Fuck 'em.
But do you know what? They're probably sat at home hating themselves.
Innit?
And they're probably looking in the mirror thinking, I'm not pretty at all. And that's why they
that
say
makes
it.
me sad. So that's like, I'd never, so what, when I clap back, I make sure I'm never horrible.
Yeah.
So I would never say anything.
It's the personal attacks. Like, I get art. Like, art is like, not... superficial isn't the right word. Art is subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
Depending on, so you might not like, there's some art styles that I'm like, not really a fan. You do you though.
But you'd never comment on it.
But I'd never comment on it. I'm just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's alright to...
Save
you
your
can be a
energy
bitch behind doors, like behind closed doors. Be a bitch, and if you really, really want to do that, that's how you get a high off life, and say it in the mirror if you fucking want to, or say it out loud. But don't tell them about it, because then you're just passing it on and passing that negativity about, and then it fucking spreads like wildfire.
Yeah,
I just don't get what people get out of it, and this is I do think there's this like weird fucking, obviously I don't want to use the word pandemic, but this weird fucking epidemic of people thinking that it's really cute and quirky to be fucking mean to each other. And it's like, what are you gaining out of that? Being like, oh, you fucking slag, oh, you bitch. It's like, what is happening? I feel like fucking feminism's just going like, what's it, a 180 turn straight back? I don't get it. That's one thing that put me off TikTok, because it's full of fucking kids.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, people can be brutal on TikTok. The thing is, for me, when people comment horrible things, and like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen that often for me, because I'm not big enough though. Like, I can imagine if you had like millions and millions and millions of followers.
I hate that mindset though.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, you're famous, or like you're well
known. No, then you're not a real person.
And it's like, oh.
But it doesn't happen to me often enough, thank God. But when it does, my thing is that like I'm really happy in life. Like, I've got a really nice life. Like, and I think the thing that I realised when I was happy, you know, like when you go home for Christmas or when you go home on holiday, I'm never dreading coming back to my life.
Yeah,
I like my life. Do you know what I mean?
So you're not going to let them get to
I'm
you.
really happy. So like, and because of that, to be honest, even when I haven't been happy, I'm never going to troll someone. But because of that, I can't I can't fathom what it must be like to feel so shit to want to drag someone down.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I've been going through, like, a bit of, like, a horrible phase at the minute where I'm feeling really sad sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, really sad. But I would never, ever dream of doing that. See, I don't get it.
I think it's generational.
I
think it's things like their parents shouted and screamed at them, or their parents like did X, Y,
That's
and
how
Z.
they
Be like,
dealt
you're
with
stupid,
it.
you're stupid. So then now they want to do it to somebody else. Like that's
It's
how
really
I
sad.
compute it in my mind. Like they've not really been taught how to deal with their emotions and how to turn societal negative emotions like jealousy and flip it on its head. Because jealousy is seen as like a really like negative thing, but jealousy can be switched into a positive. It's like,
and everyone
it's
has it.
unpacking
Everyone
as well.
gets jealous,
Why
I
are you
think.
jealous? What is it? You're jealous because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, but you need to deal with that. They're not going to deal with it for you. They're not going to stop living in these. It's like I used to be one of those people who were like, oh, they're spending so much money on shoes. You just spent $7,000 on a bag, and there's people out here who are on the breadline. Yeah, but it's her
That's
money
not
to-
her problem,
that's- it's her money to spend,
Yeah.
and I get it, but I do think that from my way that my mind worked is that came from a place of jealousy for me, being like, I'm struggling to get by. I don't have any money. Yet this person who I looked up to is now in a really, really good house. Is a really like stable family unit. But I would never say anything to them. But in my mind, I was like, oh, what a fucking dick. Or, oh, she's just not relatable anymore.
Yeah.
When that was a reflection on me, not a reflection on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like it's being open to have these discussions, to talk about this and be like, oh, I'm feeling shit, but why? But why am I feeling shit, and what can I do to help to get there?
And
but
why?
I just think
why am I being mean to people on the internet?
Yeah, why am I being mean to people on the internet?
Why is
I can
what do you
honestly
think it
proudly
is?
say that I've never been mean to a person on the internet.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I
me
have,
neither.
but you never know.
Well,
But it depends on what your morality is mean.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
no.
I don't think I've ever commented anything. and
I've
been like,
never,
this is shit.
Trolled.
I've
Is it
never
troll or
trolled.
troll?
I don't know.
I've never trolled anyone. I've had arguments with people on MSN when I was 12.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, I've had arguments with like Trump supporters on Twitter and stuff. But then I realised like I need to distance myself from this because it's not making me happy and I'm not changing their mind.
I used to have a Tumblr.
You can't argue with an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a piece of advice that I got once. You can't argue with an idiot because you're just going to sound like an idiot.
yeah,
yourself.
that's true.